tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to do a file transfer using the cPanel File Manager, and this is going to be using the FTP information. When you get your account, you should get FTP information that will help you to use this type of file transferring service. So what I'm going to do is go into my cPanel, and I'm going to go down to Files and go into FTP Accounts. It's going to ask me to create an FTP account, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to do my login again as admin. I'm going to put in a password. Again, you can make up your own or use the password generator. And then it's going to ask for the directory. Here you can choose your quota or if it's unlimited. And I'm going to click Create FTP Account. The account has now been created under admin. So under FTP accounts, you can see that we've got our new account under here, along with the usage and quota. You can change your password, change your quota, delete the account, or configure your FTP client. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Configure FTP Client. Next, it's going to ask us for manual settings. I like to use FileZilla, so I'm going to go ahead and choose FileZilla for Windows, although this also gives you the opportunity to choose Core FTP or CyberDuck for Mac. So the FTP configuration file is under FileZilla. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to save my file, and it saved it into my download folder. And I'm going to minimize that screen. Once you've downloaded that file, you're going to go into your manual settings here, and you're going to want to copy and paste all of these into a new notepad page, because you're going to need this FTP username. So once that's done, we're going to go into the FTP file that we just made on our server. So using my new notepad file I'm going to go to my FTP server, which is the ftp.wordpresstutorialhub.com. I'm going to open a new tab in my window, and I'm going to paste that address in and hit enter. Then it's going to ask for my username and password. Again, I've got my username right here, which is my admin at WordPressTutorialHub.com. I'm going to paste that in, and then I'm going to put in my password and click OK. And this shows me that file, which is my WordPressTutorialHub.com ending with .xml, and I'm going to click on it. If I click on that, it shows any style information that's associated with this. The information on how to use this file as an FTP is contained right in this document. This is what we're going to do next. We're going to copy this entire file that we've brought up on our FTP. We're going to right-click it, hit copy, go into our notepad, and we're going to paste this into our notepad. Then we're going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to save this as the FTP file that we had already saved into our downloads folder. So I'm going to double click on the FTP admin XML file and click Yes. I'm going to minimize this window. I'm going to go into Import, and this time I'm going to hit Browse, and I'm going to import our FTP WordPressTutorialHub.com XML page and click Upload File and Import. Then it's going to ask if I want to download and import file attachments. I'm going to click that on and click Submit. And it says, all done, have fun, and remember to update the passwords in the roles of the imported users. And that's how we do an import of a WordPress page. Now, if I go to my FTP again and click, it shows me all of my information about my WordPress page. So that's pretty cool, right? So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks for listening. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use an FTP client such as FileZilla to upload files and do file transfers. First, I'm going to open my FileZilla client. And this is going to ask me on the top for the host. The host that I'm going to be using is ftp.wordpresstutorialhub.com. I'm going to put in my username, which is admin at WordPressTutorialHub.com, and my password. And I'm going to click Enter. Now once I've put this in once, I can always click on my Quick Connect drop down, and this will bring up all of these other sites that I've gone to, and it will allow me to connect to them without having to put in the host username and password again. So here I am, it says directory listing successful, and over here I am on my FTP site. So to make this quick, I'm going to take my WordPress tutorial hub.com XML page. I'm going to click it and drag it over, and on the bottom it shows the queued files and how many transfers have been successful or failed. So you can see in successful transfers I was able to put this to the FTP file. And I'm going to minimize that screen, and I'm going to go into my FTP accounts. Scrolling down, so now I'm going to go into my file manager, and I'm going to look up that XML. And you can see it is now in my public _HTML admin / WordPress tutorial hub folder. So in my public HTML, I'm going to go into my admin folder, and there it is. So now if I were to go into my WordPress tutorialhub.com administration page, I could go into Tools, then into Import, and there's the file that I needed. It says it was put in at 7:32, which is about 1 minute ago, and that's how I can quickly transfer files using FileZilla. So let me show you some other ways that we can go ahead and transfer files. I'm going to go into my Quick Connect box, and I'm going to go into my site, but just using my regular account. And using my Quick Connect box, I went ahead, clicked on the one that I want, and now it's going ahead and connecting me. So I've gone in as the regular user of this account, and when I did, you can see that now in the remote site side is all of the files that are on my server. On my left side are all of the files that are in my own computer. So I'm going to just move some of these around so you can see what will happen when I choose some files. And up here it shows me my folders. So I'm going to go down to another drive, which is my drive that I use for these tutorials. I'm going to open a folder with documents that I want to put in here. I'm going to go down to the folder where I want to put them, which is in my public HTML, in my manually folder, and I can either click and drag an entire folder over, or I can open the folder and I can just click one file to drag. So I'm going to click and drag it over, or if I want more than one file, I'm either going to hit click and shift, or if I only want to pick a few files, control and command, and click what I want to make sure I don't get all of them in between. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and click and drag them over into this folder and let them go. And down here at the bottom you'll see that it had the queued files. It showed me their progress, and once they were finished it went into successful transfers. If it hadn't worked, it would have gone into failed transfers, and I would have needed to find out why that didn't work. So the two files that I transferred over were the add on a domain link document. So let's go ahead into our file manager on our cPanel and make sure it's in there. So it was in the manually folder, and it was the add-on domain link .doc, and there it is. So as you can see, using an FTP client is really a lot faster than just going in and using the cPanel. So I hope this helped you out. Do a little experimentation with your FTP client, and I think you'll be pretty happy with it. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you at the next tutorial.